لما نسمع اسم النبي لازم نصلي عليه، اللهم صل عليه. لما تيجي سيرة النبي نبدأها بالصلاة عليه، اللهم صل عليه. اسم النبي اللي دعا علينا وادعوا في الجنة يصلي بينا، صلوا عليه الخير يجينا، اللهم صل عليه. صلوا على اللي هيشفع فينا لما بنصلي على نبينا، بيصلي بيها الله علينا، اللهم صل عليه. لما نسمع اسم النبي لازم نصلي عليه، اللهم صل عليه. لما تيجي سيرة النبي نبدأها بالصلاة عليه، اللهم صل عليه.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وبعد. ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. ربنا زدنا علما يا كريم. Alhamdulillah, we're going to begin, inshallah, a new series in the month of Ramadan. And this is primarily inspired by having a lot of conversations with people with, trying to balance work-life balance. A lot of us are now working from home and we're not finding as much time as possible because, on the way when we're going to our workplaces, we would drive and we'd come back and on the way stop at the masjid. But now you're at home and there's so many things that are happening to a lot of us. And I think in general, the past 2 years have been not very like the most motivational for a lot of us. And in this decline of our motivation, I thought it would be necessary if we could just come up with a series that would focus on things that we can do on a consistent basis, something that is very little, something that will take us maybe a minute or two of our time, but it will amount for a lot of reward on the day of judgment. And again, if you're from the Indo-Pak or the Pakistani culture or the Desi culture, we're always looking for shortcuts. But this time around, they'll be like halal shortcuts. They'll be shortcuts that are authenticated, but they're really beneficial. Now, before we begin with our shortcuts, what's necessary for us to understand is the inspiration behind, for me, for this series. And inshallah, we'll try to do them Monday to Friday as many times as possible. And the inspiration behind this is something very simple. There's a story that happens during the life of Prophet ﷺ. And the story is that a Sahabi comes to Prophet ﷺ and he says that I would like to accept Islam. Rasulullah ﷺ, he says, go ahead. But he asks him a question. And the question is, the Sahabi asks Rasulullah a question. And he says, Ya Rasulullah, should I accept Islam first? Like, should my acceptance of Islam come first? Or should I go and join the call of so there was a war going on? Should I go and participate in the war? Because that's a much more noble thing to do. To the response of that, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells him something really powerful. He says, Aslim, first accept Islam and then go and do what you have to do. So this person, he accepts Islam, he becomes a Muslim, and literally he has no good deeds. He just said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, and he's off into the battle. The battle finishes and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam calls and he says, can you call him? Can you look for this person? Is he still alive? Is he amongst you somewhere? And a lot of people, they look and they turn and they try to find where he is. And eventually they find him from those who have already died. He was from those who have been martyred in the battle. So they come and they come back and they tell Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, mat. That person, he passed away, was tushhid, and he became a shaheed. To that, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said something which was very, like, that statement is so powerful. Rasulullah says to him, or to that person, he says, to the Sahabi, he says, Amila qalilan. His amal, his actions were very little, i.e., he didn't get a chance to do a lot of good deeds. He didn't get a chance to pray. He didn't get a chance to call people to Islam. He didn't get a chance to read Quran. He didn't get a chance to do all the good things that you and I are wishing for and desiring in the month of Ramadan. He never got that chance. But then Allah's Prophet ﷺ says, Amila qalilan. He worked, or his amal was very little. Wa ujira kathira. And he walked away with abundant reward. And inshallah, the inspiration behind this series is going to be exactly that. We want to be able to bring forward to all of us stories and more importantly, ahadith, or narrations and authentic narrations that we could rely upon. And these actions could literally be very little small actions and small deeds that you and I can do on a daily basis. But in the end, when we meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you would have surmounted lots of rewards with these simple acts of ours. So join me, inshallah, as mostly on Mondays to Fridays, and possibly Sundays too, inshallah. We will try to be here live around 7 to 7:15. I'll schedule the lives. Please, follow the channels that you're on, and this way you would be able to actually know when the live is happening. This will be 5-minute videos. Every single one of us can listen to them, and we all can walk out benefiting a lot, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. I'll see you all with our first act tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.